She laughed and said, "If you mess up, I have a backup fiancé." I calmly replied, "All right, bring him on." Then I walked over to the backup, handed him the engagement ring, and as he tried to put it on, the room fell into a silence so thick you could hear a pin drop. I'm 31, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I'd been with Emma for 4 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, hit it off immediately, and within 6 months we were inseparable. She was smart, beautiful, had this infectious laugh that could light up a room. I proposed last December during a weekend trip to the mountains. She said yes. We set the date for October. Everything seemed perfect. The cracks started showing around late August. Emma had always been close with her college friends, which I never minded. But there was this one guy, Marcus. He'd pop up in conversations more frequently. Marcus said this funny thing at brunch, or Marcus thinks we should go with the ivory invitations instead of cream. I brushed it off at first. She'd known him for years, and I trusted her. Then came the engagement party. My parents hosted it at their house. Nothing fancy, just close family and friends. About 40 people. Emma's friends showed up, including Marcus. Tall guy, worked in finance, wore a suit that probably cost more than my car payment. He had this way of standing just a bit too close to Emma, touching her elbow when he talked to her. I was in the kitchen grabbing more ice when I overheard Emma talking to her friend Jess near the patio doors. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but Emma's voice carried. "I mean, he's stable," Emma said. "Good with money, wants kids, checks all the boxes." "But?" Jess prompted. "But Marcus just texted me. He finally ended things with Ashley. He said he's been thinking about us." My stomach dropped. I stood there frozen, holding a bag of ice like an idiot. You're engaged," Jess said, her tone cautious. Emma laughed. I know. It's just nice to have options, you know. If things don't work out, Marcus is right there, like a safety net." I didn't confront her right then. I should have, but I was in shock. I went back to the party, played the happy fiancé, and tried to process what I'd heard. That night, lying in bed next to her, I kept replaying those words. Nice to have options. Like a safety net. The next morning, I asked her about Marcus, casually, over coffee. "Hey, you and Marcus seem close lately. Is everything cool?" She barely looked up from her phone. "Yeah, why? Just wondering. He was pretty attentive at the party." She rolled her eyes. "You're not seriously jealous, are you?" "Marcus is a friend. That's it." I let it go, but I started paying more attention. The texts that made her smile and quickly lock her phone. The extra effort she put into her appearance before book club on Thursday nights. The way she'd casually mention Marcus had given her advice on wedding vendors or honeymoon destinations. 2 weeks before the wedding, we had our final venue walkthrough. The coordinator was going over seating arrangements, and Emma was distracted, texting someone and smiling. When the coordinator asked her a question, Emma didn't even hear it. "Emma," I said. She looked up, annoyed. "What?" She asked about the head table configuration. Emma waved her hand dismissively. "Whatever you think is fine." After the meeting in the parking lot, I'd had enough. "Who are you texting?" "Jesus, what is with you lately?" She shoved her phone in her purse. "It's just Marcus." He had a question about his +1. "Right. Marcus." I took a breath. "Emma, I need you to be honest with me. What's going on with him?" She stared at me for a long moment, and I saw something flicker across her face. Not guilt, something worse. Calculation. Then she laughed. This light, airy laugh like I'd asked her something absurd. "You're being paranoid. But fine, you want honesty? Marcus is interested. He's made that clear. And yeah, it's flattering. But I'm marrying you, aren't I?" That's not exactly reassuring. She stepped closer, touched my chest. "Look, relationships are complicated. It's good to have contingencies. If you mess up, if this doesn't work out, I have options. Marcus would marry me tomorrow. Think of it as motivation for you to be the best husband you can be. I just stared at her. Did you seriously just tell me you have a backup fiancé? She shrugged. I'm being practical. Most people just think it. I'm honest enough to say it. Something in me went very cold and very calm. All right, I said. Bring him on. Her eyes narrowed. What? If Marcus is your backup plan, let's make him the primary plan. Call him. Tell him to come to the rehearsal dinner Friday night. She laughed again, but this time it was uncertain. You're being ridiculous. No, I'm being practical. You want contingencies? Let's test them. Update 1. I didn't sleep much that week. Emma tried to play it off like the parking lot conversation was a joke, that I'd misunderstood her. But I knew what I'd heard. More importantly, I knew what I'd felt in that moment. The absolute certainty that the woman I was about to marry saw me as a comfortable option, not the love of her life. Friday came. The rehearsal dinner was at an Italian restaurant my parents loved. 50 guests. Emma had gone all out with the decorations, little gold frames with our photos on every table. I'd told my best man, Derek, everything. He thought I was crazy for not just calling off the wedding, but he agreed to help. Marcus showed up. Emma hadn't invited him to the rehearsal dinner originally, but I'd texted him myself from Emma's phone 2 days earlier. Hey, would love for you to come to the rehearsal dinner. Important night. When he walked in, Emma's face went white, then red. She pulled me aside near the restrooms. What the hell is he doing here? You said he was your backup. I figured he should be here. Important night, right? This isn't funny. I'm not laughing. She tried to compose herself, went back to playing hostess. But I could see her glancing at Marcus, who'd positioned himself near the bar, looking confused, but pleased to be there. After dinner, during toasts, I stood up. Everyone quieted down, expecting the standard, "Thank you for coming" speech. I want to thank everyone for being here, I started. Emma and I have been together 4 years, and I thought I knew her completely. But recently, I learned something new about her. Emma believes in having backup plans, specifically backup fiancés. The room went dead silent. Emma's mouth fell open. I pulled the engagement ring box from my pocket. Emma told me that if I mess up, she has Marcus here as a contingency plan. So I thought, why wait? Why make him sit on the bench? I walked over to Marcus, who looked like a deer in headlights, and handed him the ring box. She's all yours, man. Consider this my gift to both of you. Marcus tried to take the box, his fingers fumbling with it, and that's when the silence became so thick you could hear a pin drop. No one moved. No one breathed. Emma's mother stood up. What is happening right now? Emma found her voice. This is insane. He's twisting everything. I never said... You said Marcus would marry you tomorrow, I interrupted, my voice still calm. You said it was good to have options. Those were your exact words. Jess, Emma's friend who'd been at the engagement party, wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. Emma looked at her desperately, but Jess just shook her head slightly. Marcus finally spoke. Emma, what's he talking about? Emma's face crumpled, not from sadness, from rage. You're humiliating me in front of everyone. No, I said. I'm just being practical. Like you. I walked out of the restaurant. Derek followed me, and we sat in his car in the parking lot for 20 minutes while my phone exploded with calls and texts. My mom, Emma, her parents, friends asking what happened. I turned it off. Update 2. The wedding was supposed to be the next day, Saturday. I didn't show up, obviously. I'd already called the venue Friday night from Derek's phone and canceled everything. My parents handled notifying guests. The fallout was nuclear. Emma's parents demanded I reimburse them for their half of the wedding costs. My dad told them to pound sand, that their daughter had treated me like a participation trophy. Emma herself swung between apologetic texts. I didn't mean it the way it sounded, we can fix this. And furious ones, "You're a coward for not working through this like an adult." Marcus apparently had no idea Emma had been positioning him as a backup plan. She'd been flirting with him, sure, but he thought it was harmless since she was engaged. When Emma tried to pivot and actually pursue him after I left, he turned her down. He sent me a message on Instagram. "Man, I'm sorry. I didn't know what she was doing. That was messed up." The worst part? Emma started telling people I'd overreacted to a joke, that she'd been teasing me and I'd taken it too seriously because of insecurity issues. Some of her friends bought it. A few mutual friends reached out to me asking if there was more to the story, if maybe I'd been controlling or jealous, and this was just the breaking point. I sent them the parking lot conversation in writing, which I'd started recording on my phone after I overheard her at the engagement party. I'm not proud of that, the recording, but I'd had a feeling I might need proof. The audio was clear, her voice saying, "If things don't work out, Marcus is right there." Like a safety net. People stopped asking questions after that. Update 3. By mid-October, Emma had moved out of our shared apartment and back in with her parents. I kept the place since my name was the only one on the lease. She came by once with her mom to get her stuff, wouldn't look at me, just pointed at boxes and let her mother do the talking. "You destroyed her," her mom said. "She destroyed us," I replied. "I just made it public. I got a therapist, needed one, spent a lot of sessions talking about trust and how you know when to walk away versus when to fight for something." My therapist said something that stuck with me. "Someone who truly values you doesn't keep replacements warming up in the bullpen." Through Derek, I heard Emma had been seeing someone new. Not Marcus, some guy from her gym. It had only been 3 weeks since the rehearsal dinner. Derek said she was posting all over social media about finding real love and knowing your worth. The irony wasn't lost on me. My work friends were supportive. I hadn't mentioned my job before because it genuinely didn't matter to this situation, but I'm in logistics management. My boss, who'd been invited to the wedding, told me he respected how I handled it. Most guys would have married her and been miserable for years before figuring it out. Maybe. But I kept thinking about standing at that altar, saying vows to someone who saw me as the safe choice, the stable option, while keeping someone better in her back pocket just in case. I couldn't do it. Update 4. December rolled around, almost exactly a year since I'd proposed. I was doing okay. Not great, but okay. Dating wasn't on my radar yet. I'd started going to the gym more, picked up playing guitar again, spent more time with my sister and her kids. Then Emma's friend Jess reached out. We'd always gotten along, but she'd sided with Emma after everything went down. Her message was short. "Can we talk? There's something you should know." We met for coffee. She looked uncomfortable, kept stirring her latte without drinking it. "Emma's getting married," she said finally. I blinked. That was fast. "Yeah, the gym guy. They're doing a courthouse thing next month." "Good for her, I guess." Jess shook her head. "That's not why I wanted to talk. She's been telling people that you cheated on her. That's why you blew up at the rehearsal dinner. She said she'd found messages on your phone and confronted you, and you turned it around on her to make yourself look better." My chest tightened. That's a complete lie. "I know. I was there. I heard what she said at your engagement party, and I saw what happened at the dinner. But she's convincing, and people who weren't there are believing her." "Why are you telling me this?" Jess looked at me directly. "Because it's not fair. And because I think you should know that she's told her new fiancé the same story. He has no idea what really happened. He thinks you're some cheating asshole who broke her heart." I thanked her for the heads up. After she left, I sat in my car and felt nothing. Not anger, not hurt. Just a weird sense of relief that I'd dodged something catastrophic. If Emma was willing to rewrite history this drastically, imagine what our marriage would have been like. Final update. It's been 7 months since the rehearsal dinner. Emma got married to the gym guy in January. I saw photos online. Small ceremony, just immediate family. She looked happy. I hope she is. I mean that genuinely. People are capable of change. Or maybe she found someone who actually is her first choice. Marcus ended up moving to Seattle for work. We're not friends, but there's no bad blood. He got caught in Emma's mess through no real fault of his own. My parents stopped asking when I'd start dating again. My mom keeps trying to set me up with her co-workers' daughters, but I'm not ready yet. Maybe soon. I've been going to therapy regularly, working on understanding why I ignored the red flags for so long, why I needed her to explicitly say she had a backup plan before I believed my gut. The engagement ring is in a drawer somewhere. I thought about returning it, but the jeweler's return window closed while I was dealing with everything. It sits there as an expensive reminder that sometimes the best decision you can make is the one that feels the most painful in the moment. People ask if I regret how I handled it, making that scene at the rehearsal dinner. Honestly? Number. Could I have pulled her aside privately, called off the wedding quietly? Sure. But she'd made me feel like an interchangeable part in her life plan, and something in me needed her to feel what that was like. Maybe that makes me petty. I'm okay with that. Derek's getting married next spring. I'm his best man. He keeps joking that I should check if his fiancé has a backup best man, just to be safe. We laugh about it, but there's truth under the humor. Trust is everything. The moment you realize someone's keeping one foot out the door, you need to have the courage to open that door fully and let them walk through it. I'm doing okay now. Some days are harder than others, but I wake up knowing that whoever I end up with next won't be keeping me on a shelf labeled Plan A for now. And that's worth every awkward conversation, every pitying look, every night I've spent alone trying to figure out where things went wrong. Edit 1. A lot of people have asked if I ever got the full story on what Emma was texting Marcus about. I didn't, and I don't want to. Whatever it was, the intent was clear enough. Edit 2. Yes, I still have the recording. No, I won't post it. It served its purpose. Some things can stay private. Edit 3. For everyone asking about the ring, it cost $8,500. Still sitting in my dresser. I can't bring myself to sell it yet. Maybe one day.